Up behind Simonstown on what's known as Redhill, there are the ruins of a community, a Cape Coloured community that lived here before the 1960s. Well, I'm going to take you through it to show you the ruins, but there was a lively community that lived here, but they were shuffled out of here. They were moved in the 1960s, and what many people don't like to talk about, and I'm going to just say it because it's true, it's the fact, is one of the only real features of South Africa is the moving of people for whatever reason. So for example, right after the formation of South Africa, it was formed in 1910, and soon after that, they were moving people up to Johannesburg to work on the mines. And then, of course, in the 1960s, there was lots of movement by the South African government, this community included. And even the last 20 years, the South African government has continued to shuffle people around. Think about how in 2010, this is just one example, the community in Hungberg in Hout Bay, the Democratic Alliance led by Helen Zille went to go try and move them. And you can go read about that. They tried to shuffle them out of Hungberg, but the community said, no, we are not going to be just moved around by you. And then, of course, it's alleged, obviously I have to say that the ANC have been shuffling people around as well. In 2009, a whole bunch of people, it's alleged, again, were shuffled into Hermanus. So we just see this time and time again, and this example, these ruins is an example of that. And when we look at the history of Cape Town, the South Peninsula, but South Africa in general, we can't help but see these facts stand before us. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around and just take you through these ruins. So you can imagine what it would be like. There were streets, there were little gardens here, people were playing, children would have been singing and playing games outside. You know, the old Omar and Opa were sitting here on the stoep, maybe right here, you know, talking. Maybe people who walked up these steps, there would have been, you know, pregnant women who gave birth. There were young teenage boys. They would have lived in these rooms, built fires, cooked food. I can see a fireplace in there, and there we go. There was their fireplace. The kitchen. There is actually a graveyard somewhere around here. I'm not exactly too sure where it is. Maybe it's over at that one where you can see some names of some of the people who lived here. Here we go. In the winter time, it would have rained. Obviously, they had roofs up, and when it started to rain, everyone would have run inside to find shelter, cook some food here. Birthdays would have been celebrated. It really is quite interesting just to think about the life that happened here, and sadly was torn down, community broken. Thanks so much for watching the history of Cape Town, history of South Peninsula, which is the history of tribes and families, cooperation and conflict. I just fell. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye for now.